Hello everyone, my name is McFozzle and today I'm going to be playing The Elder Scrolls 2, Daggerfall. Most of you are probably familiar with The Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim, which is considered by many to be the best open-world action RPG in existence. I agree with this. However, every game has its origins and this one is no different. I'm not going to be playing the first one because I never really got into it. Now, The Elder Scrolls 2, I put countless hours into this as a child. And it's always nice to revisit it every once in a while, so that's what I'm going to be doing. Now, the first episode of this video is going to be about modernization. While it is theoretically possible to just jump right into this game and play it, it would be extremely difficult, and most people that download this game usually don't make it past the first rat, let alone out of the starting dungeon. So, without any more delays, let's create a character. I generally start with the Dark Elf because their magic skills are pretty good, and they're pretty good with everything else. You can play this game without using magic, but I really don't recommend it because it makes it unnecessarily difficult. Now, you can generate your character class by answering these 10 questions, which is an interesting way to see what type of character would be best suited for you. I don't really like to do that, though. I would rather just create my own custom character class. Now, you can also select any number of pre-made ones, but let's go into custom. Give it a name. Now, for a starting character, one of the most important stats is speed, because that affects everything from how fast you run to how fast you swing your weapon. So, now these are not your final stats. This is just a base number that it will generate for you once you go to the screen where you roll your abilities. Now, personality I don't really care too much about, so I'll remove 5 points from that. 5 points from luck. It's just like any other Bethesda Softworks game. Luck affects everything you do, but it doesn't have a specific stat that it's tied to. You want strength because that increases your carrying capacity, and at the start of the game you are very limited on how much stuff you can carry. I'll get more into that later. So drop personality, another 5 points, dump 10 into speed, and then 5 into intelligence because that determines your maximum mana, or magicka. Now, this is similar to The Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind, in that you have 3 primary skills, 3 secondary skills, and a whole bunch of miscellaneous ones. It functions similar to the other games in that you level up by increasing these skills. So, the first skill I always choose is Short Blade, and I will explain more on that later, but it will make sense. Let's see. If you want to level up very, very quickly, choose Running, because you're always going to be running, it's always going to go up, and you'll gain levels very quickly. But for me, I think I will go with, let's see, Critical Strike. Critical hits do 2 to 3 times the amount of damage, and when you are facing some of the later enemies in the game, you have to kill them fast, or you will just die. And for the third skill, I will go with Restoration. Restoration controls healing magic. You're going to need that, because your hit points do not regenerate automatically over time, and this becomes a real problem, especially since you can only rest when there's no enemies nearby. For major skills, let's go with choose Longblade, because that'll come in handy later on in the game, as the best weapon in the game is considered Longblade. We'll go with Destruction. Where's that at? There we go. Destruction magic is anything from fireballs to lightning, generally damaging magic. And for the third skill, let's see. Let's go with Medical. Medical increases the amount of hit points you regenerate while you're resting. And this is very important because unlike in some of the newer Elder Scrolls games, while you're resting you can be attacked by enemies, and this can completely destroy your entire game if you're not careful. Minor skills don't really matter so much. Let's go with Running to help me level up a bit faster. I have no desire to do archery, because bows in this game, I've never had any luck. I can't hit shit with them. So let's go with, Mysticism. Mysticism is important because if you're going to be dungeon crawling, you're going to need that skill. I'll explain more on that later. Let's see, let's take dodging. Mercantile, that controls buying and selling prices. It's not that important later on in the game, but in the start of the game when you really need money, it helps if you can deal with the shopkeepers. And we'll take lockpicking. Occasionally you'll run into locked doors in dungeons, so it's a good skill to have even if you don't plan on breaking into shops. And let's see, what else? Let's go with stealth. Okay, now for skill advancement. This controls how difficult it is to increase your skills. Now, at the start, it's average, and you can adjust it in either direction by editing your advantages and changing your max hit points per level. Now, you're going to want as many max hit points per level as possible because it's very easy to die. So I generally go with between 20 and 30. I think we'll just do 20. Now, for advantages, there are a plethora of advantages to choose from here. Generally, I go with expertise in one weapon type. For this case, we'll go with short blade because I'm going to be using a dagger for a very long time. Let's see, we'll go with rapid healing. That way you don't have to rest as long. And resting for a very long time doesn't just increase your chance of getting attacked by wandering monsters. It also can make you fail the current quest you're on. Again, more on that later. So we'll go with rapid healing, general. That shot it way up into difficult. And then one more that I always take is immunity to paralysis. Paralysis is a bitch. You do not want to get paralyzed. Spiders and scorpions, both of which are very common, will paralyze you, and there's nothing you can do. You can just stand there and watch yourself be killed. There, that's good enough. Now, it's almost in the red. That means that it is almost three times more difficult than normal to level up your skills, which means you're going to level up very, very slowly. It's just like any other Elder Scrolls game, or any other RPG, rather. The higher your level, the better gear you find, and the more powerful monsters you find. So we're going to try and get that back down to average by adding some disadvantages. Now, let's see. Critical weakness to paralysis. That used to work, but they patched it a long, long time ago because people were taking immunity to paralysis and weakness to it, and it evened itself out. So instead of that, we're going to go with forbidden armor type leather. I'm never going to wear leather armor. Forbidden shield types, tower shields. In the late game, I plan on using a two-handed weapon, so a tower shield isn't very important to me. Let's see, what else have we got? Let's take a critical weakness to disease. You can always find cure disease potions. They are very common. Let's see, what else we got here? Now, if you want to make things really interesting, you can either take damage from sunlight or from holy places. Taking damage from sunlight is stupid. I don't recommend it. I mean, it's going to make the game virtually unplayable unless you plan on breaking into shops. Now, you can take damage from holy places, which if you never plan on setting foot in a temple is fine. But this can be bad because if you join a temple, you will have access to the potion maker quicker than you will with the Mages Guild, and this comes in very handy for dungeon delving. But in this case, I want to make this as easy as possible, so we'll do that. That brings it back down to average. Let's see, and just one more, we'll take phobia to Daedra. In the late game, that's going to be a pain in the ass, but we'll deal with that later. Okay, now it's back down to average. Now, editing reputations, I can never figure out what this does. I think it has something to do with the way the NPCs react to you. So, I'm not going to mess with that. Maybe in a different save. Okay, now this is important. You can fast start, which automatically answers the following questions for you. You do not want to do that. You want to answer these questions because it determines skill bonuses, starting items, starting reputations, all kinds of stuff. Okay, what thieving skill have I been studying the longest? We'll go with critical striking. That's one of my primary skills. Sword magic, destruction, we'll go restoration, expertise in combat, short-bladed weapons. All three of those are going to increase my starting skills. Now these, you kind of have to look at the name. Like, Quicksilver means that you'll get a bonus to running, Monkey to climbing, Guppy to swimming, Scrapper hand-to-hand, and Rabbit I think is jumping, maybe? I don't know. We're going to go with Quicksilver because that increases my running. Now this isn't really that important. It increases your language skill with like harpies, dragons. I've never found any real effect on gameplay. I mean, as far as the information that I have found, if you have a higher language skill, these enemy types will not attack you on sight. But I've never had any luck with it, so let's just try imps. Received additional training and restoration. These healing spells are very important. Let's see. Learning economics will increase my mercantile skills, so we want that. This is going to affect my starting reputation, which I really don't give a shit about any of these people, so... priests. I'm never going into a temple anyway. Riches, obviously. Again, I have no idea what any of these do, so let's go with commerce. Before I set out for the Imperial City, my mother gave me Curace. It's a chess piece. I have the most trouble... Well, my charisma or personality is already low, so we'll take that. Now, I kind of screwed up because I did not get a very important question. It asks you about an heirloom you received, and one of the choices is an ebony dagger. This is the best weapon you can start with, but the hell with it. We'll just go without it. You can re-roll your base stats as many times as you want. If you find a roll that you want, you can save it and then load it up again. Let's put 10 into speed. Oh, I can't believe I didn't get that dagger. Oh, that sucks. Oh, that's going to be really difficult. And the rest into strength. Let's see. Dump 3 into restoration, 2 into short blade, 1 into critical strike. The rest in a long blade, because at this point, long blade is going to be important for me. Put 20 into mysticism. There's only one spell that I need for mysticism, but it's an important one. High reflexes. Okay, here you have a chance to change any of your ability scores or starting skill points. But we're done with that, so let's start the game.
"400 years after Tiberseptim's reign, the beginning will meet the end, and the bloody circle will close in the empire of Tamriel. The unworthy heirs of the Septim dynasty have allowed the bonds of the empire to weaken and crack. Uriel Septim, the Seventh, cannot repair what his ancestors ignored. The provinces fight among themselves like neglected children, drunk with rebellion, and one indomitable power hides itself, but not forever."
Excuse the gloom, but none may know of this meeting. The nature of my trouble is darker still. Over a year ago, King Lysandus of Daggerfall died honorably on the field of battle. He was as loyal a subject, ally, and friend as you are. I did grieve for him, but his spirit does not rest. With a spectral army, he haunts his former kingdom, crying for revenge. I do not know why a good and loyal man so cursed. Perhaps you can find the answer and close the marble drawers of oblivion, bringing peace to his soul. I ask this as your emperor and your friend. I have one lesser request. Several years ago, I wrote a letter to the Queen of Daggerfall. It never arrived. The letter was of a sentimental and personal nature. If you find and destroy that letter, I will be grateful. Now, my champion, rest well this night, for tomorrow you sail for the kingdom of Daggerfall.
Kind of a cheesy cutscene, but I like it. Okay, you wake and look around the room. Some hours ago, you were in a boat en route to Daggerfall, when a storm of supernatural strength boiled over the Iliac Bay and like a malefic creature. Your boat was destroyed, but you managed to swim through the churning water to a promontory rock. There you found a cave and escaped the fury of the storm. You had only just lit a small fire when a mudslide sealed you within. Your fear of being buried alive calmed when you saw the corridor leading out of the cavern. Perhaps there is a way out of this cave after all. Once free of the cave, you can begin the Emperor's quest. Now, there's a tutorial. I don't do it. I've heard that if you do it, it can crash your game and corrupt your save file. And we do not want that. Okay, now. Yes, the graphics are dated. Very dated. But if you can see past that, this truly is a really good game. But before you can even start playing it, you have to do some modernization. First, go full screen, and then go customize the controls. You want to set this up as a WASD setup. Hold on, let me turn it. There we go. Okay, so we're going to set it up as we would, as Skyrim would be set up, with a couple of slight differences. That's not right. Turn left, turn right. Q and E for strafing. Crouch, we'll do C. Run, left shift. You're going to be running all the time, and there is no auto run feature, unfortunately. Let's see. Cast a spell, F. To recast the same spell, 1. Abort the spell, backspace. Leave that the same. Control weapon. Leave that the same, don't mess with that. Switch hand. Let's see. T. Okay. These don't mess with. All you have to do is just hit F1 and it brings up the status screen. Now, let's see. Rest is important. Leave that alone. For travel, we'll put. These are just a matter of personal preference. As long as you can remember what they are, it doesn't really matter. Transport. Why not? Okay, looks pretty good. Oh, make sure you set it to view base. This is like mouse look. Before you do anything else, save your game. Now, this has been said for many other games, but it cannot be overstated here. You have to save your game constantly, because even though this game was made in 1996, it's still a Bethesda Softworks game, meaning that it is full of bugs and prone to crashing, especially on a modern computer like this one. And Running it in windowed mode in DOSBox helps, but sometimes it doesn't. It's going to crash, and it's generally going to happen at a very inopportune moment. So save your fucking game. Oh, I forgot something. Controls. Ah, activate cursor. Alright. Press F5, check out what I have here. Not getting that dagger really screwed me over. Because unfortunately, there's a nasty surprise waiting for me in the final room of this dungeon that cannot be affected by anything less than silver, so let's just hope to God I can find a silver weapon or better. And it didn't start me with the heal spell. Ah, this game is freaking brutal. This is the room with the infamous rat that kills most people. All because, if you didn't already know, it's really hard to figure out how to attack the damn thing, and it will kill you. After years of playing this, I know the route to get out of here the fastest. But it can help to stay in here and gather as much crap as you can to go sell. Fuck. Get used to the screen. You're going to be seeing it an awful lot. Oh, shit. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Fuck. Oh no. This fucking thing's gonna kill me. I can't hurt it. Oh wait. What? Oh. Maybe it's steel or better. Okay, that simplifies things. You can get a general idea of what things are worth by hitting info, but you never really know until you get to the shop because it depends on the type of shop, your local reputation, your mercantile skill, various things. It's a surprisingly complex game for what it is. Now, a good habit to get into: save your game before you open any door, before you go into a new area, before you do anything, including talking to people, because the game is notorious for crashing on dialogue. Oh yeah, multiple slots. It's kind of a trope of fantasy games that the first monsters you fight are rats. I'm probably gonna die here. Or not, hey, maybe I should buy a lottery ticket. What? It's not leather. Whatever. Books are always good to loot. They are always valuable, and there's various places you can sell them, including banks for some reason. I think. Oh shit. Thanks, Bethesda. Yep, see? That's what I'm talking about. And generally it spawns behind you or in an adjacent... Oh shit, there he is. You can avoid looting leather because it just takes up space and it's generally not worth a whole lot. Save your inventory space for iron or steel. Even though it doesn't look it, it's a +4 armor rating, so that's technically steel. God damn it. Fucking rat. Jesus. Again, save your game often. Simply cannot be overstated. Kind of cheap, I know, but I don't really want to die in the first video in the first dungeon. Oh, there we go. There's some loot. See, +4. In the interest of time, I'm just going to plunge through this place because I can always just go to a graveyard and rob some dead people if I need money. Yeah, that's a thing. I think there's a bear up here. Yep. In that room. Oh wait, nope, next room. Oh, it's been a long time since I played this. See, stealth skill. I just swung my weapon and missed, and he didn't even realize I was there. Fuck. Oh god. Ugh. And I can't rest because there's a bear nearby. You have to adjust to the mindset that when you're playing this game, you are literally seconds away from death at every moment. Let's backtrack a bit. Oh, come on. Are you kidding me? Oh, come on. Alright, fuck it, good enough. There we go. Primary skill is going up. I just know this. Oh, there's the rat. God damn it. Tripped over him. Yep, there he is. See him? That was anticlimactic. Alright, almost done. Still 2 major hurdles I have to face. This is not one of them. Oh, there's another bear. The first major hurdle is in this room. That little bastard right there. At this level, imps can easily kill you with one hit, but he missed, so I'm fine. Should be taking these reagents for potion making. This game has a lot of hidden secrets. If you want to find them all, you kind of have to just walk around clicking on everything. I found this one out a long time ago. But getting in there to get it, on the other hand, is a different matter. It's very easy to get stuck in here. There we go. Gold and a pretty red shirt. Let's rest up. Keep rolling saves and keep track of them. You don't want to save over something important. Okay, now the second hurdle is down there. Cats are going apeshit. There's a skeleton that's going to spawn, and this guy will ruin your day. There he is. Plus, they make a god-awful noise. The best approach to combat is to run in and then backpedal. You can watch their animations to see when they're going to land a hit, but it's not always accurate. The direction of your swing does affect the damage you do, but it also affects your chance to hit. The side-to-side swing I'm doing here has a good balance of chance to hit and damage. Silver short bow. Of course, because I didn't take archery. Oh, okay. Bags are full. Fills up very quick at this level. Sometimes it helps to go out of mouse look to click on small objects such as that lever. If you're on a moving platform, don't move. There's a good chance that you'll clip through the floor and die. Alright, we're in the home stretch here. Just one more imp to kill and then daylight. Oh, whatever. This dungeon has the benefit of being one of the only dungeons in the game that isn't randomly generated. All of the story, or all the main questline dungeons are preset. Here we go. Do not want to go in that room. There's a rat, and an imp in there, and if they surround you, they die. Oh, come on, fucking die! Alright, here we go. Time to die. Oh shit! Yep. Did I mention save your game? This time we'll save right outside the door. Oh, I hope he doesn't get another one of those spells off. Very close to death. Oh god. Alright, fuck it, running for it. Okay. Made it through the first dungeon, only died once. Okay. Now you're out in the big world of the province of Daggerfall. This is the game map. Every inch of it is explorable. The entire game map encompasses an area roughly the size of Great Britain, and you can explore every inch of it. There are somewhere around 10,000 towns, dungeons, and various locations you can visit. But for now, I think we will end the video with a trip to the capital city, Daggerfall. Wait, no, that's not it. There it is. When you're traveling to Daggerfall until you complete part of the main quest, you never want to travel recklessly. Recklessly decreases your speed, decreases your travel time considerably, but you have a chance of arriving at your destination at night. Now, any other town, it's not that big of a deal. You just have to wait outside until morning. Daggerfall, you don't want to do that because there's bad things there at night that will kill you. To save some money, you can camp out. We're not going overseas, so okay, here we go. Now we wait. There we go. Okay. I was expecting a crash. Alright, well, I think that's where I'm going to end this episode. If you like the video, please comment and subscribe. Thank you for watching. See you next time.